So today we're going to dive into a really cool kind of hidden connection between artificial intelligence, our own psychology, and even consciousness itself. We're going to see how a tiny flaw in a computer's code actually reveals this profound truth about how our own minds work, and more importantly, how we can upgrade them. All right, let's just jump right in with a bit of a puzzle. What could possibly link an AI coder, a Zen master, and a high-powered CEO? I know, it sounds like the setup to a pretty weird joke, right? But the answer tells us something absolutely fundamental about the operating system running in all of our heads. You see, all of them, in their own very different worlds, have figured out the power and the danger of something called a decision tree. It's a simple concept that, believe it or not, governs everything from complex machine learning algorithms to our most basic, gut-level human reactions. Okay, so to really get this connection, we have to start in the world of AI. We need to look at one of the fundamental building blocks for how we teach machines to think. So this is a decision tree, and at its core, it's really just a fancy flowchart. If this happens, then do that. If not, go over here. It's just a series of simple if-then questions that guide it to a final answer or prediction. Super simple, super logical, and honestly, incredibly powerful. But, and this is a big but, for all their power, these models have a critical, and I mean critical, flaw. They can be wildly unstable. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, so imagine we've built a decision tree to predict the weather. We give it some data. Humidity is at 65%, temperature 75 degrees, wind is a calm 5 miles per hour. The model crunches the numbers, follows its little flowchart, and boom, it predicts a sunny day. Makes perfect sense, right? So far, so good. But now, watch this. We change one tiny little thing. The humidity goes from 65% to just 66%, a 1% change. Everything else is identical. The model runs again, but this time the prediction it spits out is hurricane. Wait, what? A tiny, almost meaningless change in the input just created a catastrophic, completely wrong output. That is instability. So why on earth does this happen? Well, the technical term for it is overfitting. Basically, the model got too good at memorizing the exact data we trained it on, including all the little random quirks and meaningless fluctuations. It learned the details so perfectly that it completely lost the ability to see the bigger picture. And that makes it brittle, fragile, and totally unpredictable. Okay, now hold on, because this is where it gets really, really interesting. That exact same flaw, that process of overfitting to old data, it isn't just happening in some computer in a lab. It's happening inside our own heads every single day. Seriously, think about it. So much of our day is spent on autopilot, right? And it turns out that our subconscious reactive mind, it operates a lot like that buggy, unstable AI we just looked at. I mean, when we're on autopilot, we're not really thinking, are we? We're just reacting. Our brain gets a stimulus from the outside world and instantly runs it through a decision tree built from a lifetime of past experiences, old habits, and maybe some unresolved stuff. We basically overfit our responses to our own personal history. So a certain tone of voice, a particular look from a colleague, these tiny inputs can trigger a massive, totally disproportionate emotional output. Just like that hurricane prediction. As the psychologist Tara Brach puts it so perfectly, we get hijacked. Our primitive, reactive brain just takes over. And because we didn't pause, we didn't stop to think, we just did something that we probably regret later. We run that old, faulty program and end up creating more conflict and more distance in our lives. So if we're all running around with this kind of buggy mental software, how do we fix it? What's the patch? Well, the answer is both incredibly simple and ridiculously powerful. It's the one thing a human can do that an algorithm can't. See, this is the algorithm. This is the autopilot loop. Something happens in the world, that's the stimulus, and we immediately, instantly have a reaction, the response. There's no space, no thought, it's just an automatic and often flawed process. But here it is. This is the upgrade. This is the uniquely human capability. Right there, between the stimulus and the response, we can insert one single game-changing step, the pause. And it's not some complicated, mystical thing. It's so simple. First, you just notice that you're having a strong reaction. That's it. Step 2, you identify it. Give it a name. Oh, okay, this is anger. And notice where it is in your body. My jaw is getting really tight. And third, just breathe. Take one single, conscious, deep breath. That's it. That's the pause. That tiny little pause, it creates a space. And it's in that space that we can consciously choose to run a better program. We can actually upgrade our mental operating system with some way more effective tools. So the first tool is using better mental models. Instead of just defaulting to our old emotional program, we can use that pause to ask a better question. Like, okay, what's a more useful way to think about this? Is there a better framework I can use to understand what's really going on here? It's about consciously choosing a better map to navigate the situation. The second tool is awesome because it's purely physical. It's called the physiological sigh. You take a double inhale through your nose, so a big breath and then a little extra sip of air right at the top, and then a long, slow exhale through your mouth. This is literally a built-in reset button for your nervous system. Research from places like Huberman Lab shows it's the fastest way to physically calm your body down in real time. And the third tool is all about the quality of your attention inside that pause. Instead of using that moment to reload and plan your counter-argument, you just practice being present. You listen to understand, not to reply. You fully take in what's happening without judging it and without immediately trying to figure out your next move. Now, when you start to really get good at this, at using this pause, something truly remarkable starts to happen. You're not just fixing the bugs in your personal decision tree anymore. You're actually starting to get a glimpse of what lies beyond the tree altogether. There's this really fascinating idea out there that consciousness, in its purest form, is this infinite, wide-open state. And our brain's job is basically to act like a filter, a decision tree that chops up that infinity into manageable, concrete little pieces so we can survive and function. Well, the pause, it's like a tiny crack in that filter. It lets us get a brief glimpse of the vastness that's on the other side of our normal, constructed reality. And that glimpse, it reveals a completely different way of being. In our normal, everyday self-state, we're defined by our ego, our constant stream of thoughts, our emotions. We see everything in black and white, right and wrong, good and bad. But in what some spiritual traditions call the non-dual state, all of that just falls away. The ego quiets down, the thoughts cease, and even fear disappears into this state of just pure, neutral awareness. Look, our brains are incredible. They build these amazingly complex decision trees to help us make sense of a chaotic world. But the real breakthrough, the leap from just being a biological algorithm to truly being conscious, happens when we realize a fundamental truth. We are not the tree. We aren't the program. We are the awareness that can notice the program running, and in that sacred pause, make a new choice. We are the one who can choose to step out of it.